recorded lecture, about 10 of them, about 100 minutes. So that is almost about 2 hours of just pre-recording for you all to listen to at your own time. But you must finish listening to it before the next class, because the next class will join with it will join with today's class, okay? So I think the condition is you must finish listening to it. I would also probably set up a very simple feedback questions in ELIC, something regarding the very simple question and answer on ELIC for you all to answer, especially if you've already listened to the pre-recorded. You can answer it quite quickly, and then, to show me that you have already listened to the pre-recording. And that one I will give you up until this Friday to finish filling up that feedback form, okay? And it will be under my topic, project quality management, and then it will be called a feedback or something like that. You just have to click on it and then read the question and then just answer it. I will make it really, really simple. I will not make it difficult for anyone. You just put in your response, and I will treat it as you have already listened to the pre-recorded lecture. And I'll also be treating it as a little bit of a bonus mark that I will top it up for you, especially in the exam later. Okay, so exam, you have one question from me, which I will speak a little bit more about next week, about my question. And I'm not sure whether Dr. Shirley has already gone through with you how the exam questions is like and all that, but I will go through my part with you next week. And then you can have a better idea. And, once you fill up the feedback for the both week, I will top up some marks. I'll top up maybe about 1 mark or so for you from the feedback. Okay, so let's say if you really end up failing, get 59 or 58, we will top up 1 marks. I will top up 1 marks for you, you see. So, and yeah, I will top up 1 marks for anybody who has already answered those 2 questions. I mean, 1 for this week and 1 for next week. So I hope you understand. So 1 question is about 0.5 marks. The 2 questions will be about 1 mark. So this one will help you to, do better, I hope. This is like extra marks. Okay, do you guys get this? You understand what I'm trying to say? So there will be a feedback column. There'll be a feedback column in every in these 2 weeks under my class. And then you just have to listen to the pre-recording, and then, it will be from the pre-recording, and then you just have to plug it in, like just plug in the answer. For example, what should be in the quality management systems, QP, QA, QC. You just have to answer QP, QA, QC. That's it, and then you will get your bonus marks in that way, That I'll use that mark to pop up on the exam questions later. I mean, whatever exam question, let's say you get 9 out of 10, I will give you, like extra, for example. I mean, yeah, something like that. Okay, so it's going to be especially helpful for people who are actually at the borderline. Okay, so especially people who are getting like 58, 64, maybe, like maybe some people are almost very, very near an A, like 78, with the extra marks, we will push you over to 80, for example. Okay, so yeah, so that is how we will do this. Okay, so today, actually, my part with you is actually more in project quality management. Okay, there's nothing on my screen now at the moment. You can't see anything, right?
No.
No, It's just it's just the attendance, like this, like our names and all that, on WebEx,
Yes.
Okay, right, okay. So, all right, so what I'm trying to get you to understand is basically, what we are doing with you is project quality management. So how come there's an echo here? Yeah, so with project quality management, the concept is a little bit different from general management. So normally if you do general quality management, it is based on trying to work on your organization, like your entire organization, and trying to establish your organization culture, policy, and processes that will actually goes into many areas in your organization, such as procurement, such as project, such as human resources, such as administrative, accounting, finance, and all that. So when we talk about general quality management, we engineers are not so much into it unless your task is you are being tasked to run a specific organization, for example. Some of you may be doing that, like you have your own company and all that, and you need to set that up, like a general quality management process, because this one is adopted for the entire operation in your organization. So it will cover policies, procedures, practices, culture, your processes, across the whole entire organization. Your organization may be producing products and services and whatsoever, but it's going to be applicable to, you need to set it up for the entire organization. Whereas project quality management, it is similar, it's very similar. It also talks about being customer focused. It's also talking about being fulfilling the satisfaction of the client and all that, fulfilling what the client wants from the project. It's also talking about organization culture, leadership, and all that. But it is more applicable for a particular project, for example, a project to create a product, a project to create a facilities, a project to create something. Okay, so for us here, as all of us are engineers, so it's not difficult for us. I mean, I shouldn't say that some of us are QSs, but most of you are involved in the engineering industry. So in the engineering industry itself, our focus generally will be in project. Okay, it is not so much of the general management unless until, like I say, you're at the top level management. Okay, set up that you have a specific department, a specific quality management department, but or you're at top management level or middle to top management level, setting up quality management systems for your organization. But generally, most of us as in the engineering industry, whether you're in mechanical, whether you're in electrical, whether you're in electronics, or whether you're in material manufacturing, or me, I'm in civil, for example, which is in the construction industry, our work normally are focusing on project to come up with a certain product, project to run the manufacturing line, to fulfill certain clients' requirement, for example. Same thing like it's similar, let's say you're in manufacturing, you're also kind of doing a project because, this product, yes, your whole factory may be producing a waffle. Your whole factory may be producing parts or parts for the cars or the motor or the doors or the, whatever. It is a very specific product, and then you're doing it in the manufacturing line day in, day out. It's the same thing, but you see, when you produce a certain batch, and that batch is for certain customer, that in a sense is also a project. So same thing with mechanical, electrical manufacturing. So I mean, like electrical as well, like electrical and manufacturing. Electrical and mechanical is probably very similar with us as construction people. So you also do, wiring, project, transmission towers. You also do like cabling. You also design plumbing, firefighting. And then for a specific project, for example, it could be a building, it could be a housing project, it could be a general firefighting systems for a mall or whatever. So you see that it is project based. So whenever it's project based, we are applying this quality management throughout the project life cycle. Okay, and it's very common to to actually apply the concept, unique design, uh, design processes, design procedures, design the product itself, and what you want the product itself to do, and then meeting the mind of the client, the specifications, writing up the specifications and all that. So it's very much based on that particular project, that particular client. So you're planning, you're organizing, your execution, you're monitoring, you're controlling, and then coming up with a documentation, control, audit, and checking. They are all based on a specific product or a specific project that you are executing. Project is more on the processes. Project is actually all the processes and procedures, to create that particular product. So as engineers, we are creating product. Whether you like it or not, we're giving services to create a product. Material, resources to create a product, whether it's facilities from a civil engineer, it's a bridge or a mold, or it's a high-rise apartment buildings, or it's a brand new product, a brand new manufacturing product, or a material that was designed specifically for a new model of cars, or whatever, or transmission tower, or cables, and lines and all that. So these are very specific to a project. So all your action, all your process, all your procedures, they are project-based. So all the processes in the project itself is going towards that product. You want to deliver that product that satisfies the client, your facilities that satisfy the client's requirement, and it fits what the client wants. It can be used by the client and all that. So project quality management is about that. Okay. So it is similar to general quality management, but it is more specific to the characteristics and the requirements of a project. And you understand? I need to make you understand the difference between the two, okay? So that is more meaningful when we move into our topic later on, okay? So, the main thing is, in the end, you want the product to be consistent with what customer wants. You want to make sure there's no defects, there's no problems with using, there's no returns, there is no rejects, So these are usually the direction or requirement that project quality management is working towards too. This is our goal, this is our aim, this is what we want from our product and facilities. So we design that steps, we design those processes to make sure that when people follow through with it, it will produce product or components or subcomponents that will make up the product and facilities that we are actually wanting to deliver to the client, and they are satisfied with it, they are happy with it, and they are actually going to be using it for a period of time, which is designed like the lifespan for the product itself. Okay, so that is the general concept of project quality management, which I am covering with you. And I can see if I look at ELIC, what have been covered by the other lecturer, the statistical process, the sampling, the quality tools, and all that. Oh, there. Why they actually put up my slide? Oh, I think Dr. Shelley actually sort of like send certain. Okay. Right. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to understand what Dr. Shelley has done with the ELIC bit of things here. I'm looking at the ELIC now. Oh, she's actually transferred some of the previous notes and all that from the old ELIC to this one. So later on, I will make some changes to it. So in fact, my classes is supposed to be a bit earlier. It's supposed to be giving you an overall concept of what project quality management is like, because this is what you guys are doing as engineers, engineering manager as well, and then the rest of the product quality tools, Six Sigma, sampling, process quality, process control, and all that. They are pretty much like a follow on from here. So you see, for, let me try to off this first. I won't be taking too long with you today because I understand that there are people who needs to go away for their Christmas, and some of you are already away. You're not even in wherever you are. Yeah, so it is a holiday, and I can understand that, and it's a very big thing in Sarawak here for Christmas because we have a lot of natives that celebrates Christmas. Okay, so I hope the rest of the other people also understand. Okay, we are not going to have a long class today, just to until 6 o'clock, and some people may be like trying to cook and all that at the same time, and it's going to be quite a disaster to do that. Okay, so what I have with me is actually 3 sets of notes. Okay, so today basically the pre-recorded lecture will cover the introduction. Okay, and introduction is about, the main thing is with project quality management, the most important thing is to understand what's quality. And that one is about the satisfaction of the owner and fulfilling the owner's need. And you need to have the meeting of mind with the client. Okay, what they actually want. It's just like your scope management. What do they actually want? So if you're actually designing something or coming up or creating something that is not who they are perfect, not to say perfect, we don't really use the word perfect, not fitting to their thoughts or fitting to their net desire or fitting to their needs or fitting to their requirement, that is very difficult for you to achieve quality, because quality, it is about them being happy about it. That is the more modern quality management thinking. So the first section of the notes is about understanding definition. What is quality definition? There are some quality definition that is very, very product based, very need based. Some that is very value based, meaning that it is better than what you paid for. That is also considered as good quality. Some of it is very product based, meaning that it's a function based. So I built a house, I'm supposed to live in it comfortably. So if you can live in it, it has a roof, everything is done, you're comfortable, that is it, you have already fulfilled that requirement. So we are trying to give you the understanding of the introduction is trying to give you the understanding, the part 1 of the notes, and the first 5 recording is about this introduction, is about trying to understand project quality, what is the definition of quality for your project. So you need to truly obtain that and get it from your client to fully understand what is your customer's requirement, and then making them understand that there is a trade-off between money and time and what they actually want. Okay, so PCQ is very important. Again, it is a very, very important features, because who doesn't know, if you build a house that if you have like 20 million compared to if you only have 2 million, there's going to be a vast difference in things that you can do with that kind of amount of money. Okay, so who doesn't know I want the best of the best, the most perfect of the perfect? So you cannot seek to achieve perfection. You can only seek to achieve what the budget can give you and what is the time limit that can give you. You cannot build a whole cities in 1 year. So if that is required of you, it's not possible. So if it's not possible, something has to sacrifice. So usually quality will be an issue. The cost will be affected as well. You have to have a lot of money to do that, to meet the quality requirement, to meet the requirement of the customers. So we have to be very practical. As engineers, our job is, yes, it's about customer satisfaction, but it is also about balancing between the resources that you have and the resources that the client are willing or can afford compared to the quality of product that we need to come up with, you see. So this is something that we cannot let the client lead us as professional to the extent that you say yes to everything that they say. Because your job as an engineer, you are the professional person here. So by being a professional person, you need to consult and they need to consult you. We need to advise them and provide them with professional opinion, professional knowledge, and making them understand that, with this, you have only this amount of budget. This is going to cost this much. Would you be able to afford it, in a sense? I mean, like, we probably don't put it so bluntly, huh? Who likes it? Nobody likes it, It's just that you go out and buy a car, and then somebody tells you that, how much money do you have? And then you say, look, I've only got 50,000. Forget it, you cannot afford this, like, bye-bye. I let you look at other things. You probably walk away and don't want to look at anything else anymore after that, you see. So of course, there's some form of art of talking and art of negotiation going on here as well. But you as engineer, what I'm trying to say is you need to understand basically what is quality all about. It's about the features and the characteristic of the product that will satisfy the need. So first of all, understand the need of the client. First of all, understand the implied needs. Implied needs and needs is different, because needs is like the client direct needs, but the implied needs could be the client is the paymasters, but people using it is different. Like, for example, a road, it can be money is from JKR, but the user is going to be the end users and the Sarawak people, the nation or the residents of certain areas and all that. So they are the implied needs. So we try to understand that. Okay, so the first 5 recording we are going through with the concept of quality, what is quality, and there's a lot of way that you can define your quality. There's a whole range of things that I put down here. There's 8 levels of qualities that you can use. And we also went through the notes here, also went through the concept of quality, whereby it started out from manufacturing. So this is only for your knowledge and how it actually comes to what it is today. And a lot of these different concepts, it actually evolves among, from World War I, from industrialization all the way to World War II. And then after that, the manufacturing industry, because a lot of industrialization are dealing with manufacturing and all that, and coming up with mass production. And with mass production, in the old days, people are actually, like I said, build a table. When you want to build a watch, there will be a watchmaker that especially built that one watch for you, you see. So they will take months and years to create one piece of clock, table, chairs, house, or whatever that you are building. So they call it craftsmanship. They call it art, you see. But with industrialization, you're going to produce 100 tables. You're going to produce 200 watches in a day. So there will be some sacrifice towards the workmanship, towards the art bit of things, you see. So how do you still ensure quality? So a lot of quality issues start to come up because of that, you see. So there's going to be a lot of people, standing there trying to produce something over a very short period of time, because we need to increase productivity rate. So the concept of quality becomes a lot more important in that sense after industrialization. It's probably 1890 something, Korean era, all the way down to 1945, 40, after the World War II, whereby a lot of it started off industrialization and then rippled down because of World War II, 1 and 2, and then a lot of countries are in Qatar, a lot of countries are in a mess. They need to rebuild and they need to come up with a lot of new material over a very short period of time. Like, they need to build houses and they need to build cars. They need to get things done as fast as possible. So there's a lot of issues with quality that sort of pops up in the after World War, especially. Of course, 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, there's a time where quality concept is getting stronger and stronger, and it becomes a very normal thing in today's world at the moment. Yeah. Nowadays, you're talking about quality is not something new anymore. It's really very much part of normal, normal things. Okay. So then we have a lot of these different gurus from different parts of the world trying to create the concept of quality for people like Damin Duran, and then we also have the Ishikawa, we also have Crosby's, So this part of the notes is really just some knowledge to give you an appreciation why we need to do project quality management. Okay, then we go on all the way to tell you that quality is not for free. Okay, so this part here is what I'm trying to explain just now. It's not so simple. You know, if you don't do it, there is a cost later on. If you do it, there's a cost attached to it. You know, you cannot have cheap and fresh and good all at the same time. It cannot be perfect. So if you want good quality stuff, there must be some cost implication to it as well. So, and then, but sometimes if you require too high, like in manufacturing, I want zero reject, I want zero mistake, I want zero misses. These are the things that will cost you a lot of money. So to have that few zero, you know, to have that few rejects, maybe it's not so expensive, you know, compare like that 5% of errors or that 2.5% of errors. It may not be so critical compared to the amount of money that you're going to pay, you know, if you're going to do a high prevention cost to it or high sort of like appraisal cost and all that. So we may not want to do that. So what happens is we will try our best to keep a balance between what the client wants, what is possible, and then what is the right amount, what is the right balance. You know, it may be actually okay to pay for some rejects, but in the end, you know, you have 95% of the product that is working perfectly fine. So you don't need to spend that another 2-3 million or 10 million trying to repair your manufacturing lines, for example. Depends on product. If it's a medical thing or if it's a very product that is very life threatening or concerning with life, like chemical and all that, then you may have to be 100%. You see? So again, you may need to spend money, especially when it's dealing with people's life and human life and quality of life and all that. But like I said, if you say, you know, just to make 5% of the pen to be working perfectly fine compared to, you know, like few million trying to improve, you know, your factory's facilities just to achieve that 5%. So it may not be worth it. So that is what we're trying to say: balance between cost and quality. Okay, so the cost of non-conformance and all that. So yeah, then we also have, then we move into what we call quality management system. So after you understand what your client wants, the first thing, a good system will be understanding what your client wants. Okay, so then after that, you will have a system. Okay, a good quality management. Good quality management is about having a system. It's about, you know, getting all the processes all in place, you know, from design all the way to constructing, to building, to manufacturing, to doing the work, going through the processes. You have specific way of doing things, you know, like you make sure that all your SOP, your procedures, your processes are all created properly, so that when the steps that you go through, the product, I mean, if you come up with that product, the steps that you go through will automatically create, I would say, 95% of good quality product. So that would be what quality management is all about. It's about having a system, a proper system. So the main thing is QMS. What is a QMS? Quality management systems. And this part of the notes, I think towards the end, part one is all about what, you know, how the quality management systems actually evolve. It used to be very much on control. You know, we are looking at the end product, to control the end product. But now, quality management systems is more into processes. You're creating those processes. You're creating the SOP. You know, you're looking into different ways of checking, auditing, and then controlling and making sure that you find out what is the problem before you proceed to the next sections and all that. So that quality management systems is what every engineer must look to create for your project. So it's important that you have this concept and not just think, oh, QMS, oh, I use ISO, oh, I have my own country, let's say if like something like that. He's from China. Maybe China has their own system, not the system. They have their own what we call regulatory requirement about checking about product testing and all that. It's not only about that. It's about your organization being able, let's say you are a specific manufacturing company producing milk, producing diapers, or producing food products. For us in civil engineering, producing bridges, roads, a sewage line, water pipeline. We have a proper procedures that all our activities need to follow, so that in the end, the components that come up, you cannot go wrong with it. Okay, even if you can go wrong with it, your system will allow you to trace back and understand where exactly will be the problem. Okay, and this is not so difficult when it comes to manufacturing, mechanical, electrical, because your parts are very specific. But for civil engineering, it is a very big thing because your project is huge most of the time. If you build a bridge, yes, the bridge only have 7, 8 components or 10 components, but you know those 10 components have like 20 over processes of material or products that you need to use, to complete that one component. And then you may have like activities that is across different ground conditions, different river, different part of the country as well. Let's say if you're building roads or if you're building railway lines and all that, they are across jungles and mountains, and it is very difficult, to create a good quality product because of that. So, but it does not mean that we shouldn't even try. The most important thing is we must have a good system, and that system will be subjected to continuous quality improvement. So your job as an engineer, sitting for this class, is to know how to create your own quality management system and not just fully rely on things like ISO, or I don't know what else there is out there, like ISO is definitely one of them. Okay, and I think there is also serum, and then you also have I think I checked just now. I checked some of the latest things that we have. Six Sigma is also one of them. Kaizen is also one of them, and then you also have some Australian standards, and then you also have some I think they call it in the automotive industry. They have like IATF or something like that, and then ISO 14,000 is more on environmental management and all that. So you see, you've got a lot of these standards and what not, that actually there are systems around. There are systems around that teach you how to do all these things. But the concept of all this is actually creating your own QMS. And your QMS is actually very straightforward. It's about 3 processes: QP, QA, QC. QP, how do you plan for your activities? How do you plan for what the product should be like? What is the objective? What is the vision? What is the mission? How is the culture like? And what is the stats and all that? What are the flow of work? And how do you plan to track? And then you move into quality assurance. You have your master plan. So in your master plan, you say, okay, when these processes reach this particular point, we will send this for testing. And then if testing fail, what test? What are the testing procedures that must be executed, or it could be done by independent laboratory? And then if the result comes out is not good, what should you do? And then you go for your plan B, and then that, how to strengthen it, how to improve it, and how to, or do you reject it completely, etc., etc. So there is a proper standard on quality planning to track. Okay? So then your quality assurance is not just ISO. It's just not simple, straightforward things like, serum or whatever. Or a specific serum is our country standards for a lot of product. They send the product for testing, and then if serum testing is passed, then your product can be placed with SIRIM standards, meaning that it's okay, it has been tested, just like electrical power point, electronic goods, a kettle, a lot of products are actually SIRIM approved, and that is testing. Okay, so those are not system. Okay, those are not system, but SIRIM must have their own system, their own testing system for them to make sure that everything is being calibrated properly, the steps of testing is correct, the way that you do it is no problem, and then the machine that you use, the manpower that you use, and the environment that you test it in, the temperature, everything is accordingly, and then the result is okay, and then that represents the rest of the 5 million product out there, for example. Yeah. So same goes with automotive industry, same goes with mechanical and electrical, water power plant and all that. So we usually will base it on some form of testing, but those are not a full system. A testing is only part of your QMS. But you must plan for your testing, and it should not be an ad hoc testing. If you need a particular product to be here with birth cert, with certificates, with testing certificates, you must put it down in the quality plan in the first place. So create your own project quality plan. Okay. Then after that, you move in to do your quality audit. You must have people to monitor this and then come back with the result. And then you do QC. And QC is not quality check. Quality check is under QA. Quality control is when there is something wrong, you are going to do something about it to bring it back to the original statement or the original requirement or the original direction that you want it to be in. You see, that is QC. So the whole quality management process is based on these three concepts of QP, QA, QC. So there are tools that you use, there are ways that you create your own QP, QA, QC. If you have that in your system, you could have an Africa system, you could have an ECA system, you could have an Asninda system, you could have a fire rule system, you could have a Sarawak system, so you can build up your own system for your own project, and you're supposed to do that. You're not supposed to take just ISO, and borrow things from left and right and then paste it together. Is what ISO is doing. ISO is just a very American way of trying to, scream money out of everybody, you see. So, but it tells you that organization, when they run project, when they do organization management, they should have QP, QA, QC. There are steps. These are the steps of doing certain things, like creating your own quality. You must have this document. You must have that document. You must do this sort of documentation. You must keep this sort of profile. Why do you need people to tell you that? Like your project is your project. You shouldn't let another general way of managing quality management come in and tell you how to do things for your own project. You can refer to it, but you don't have to spend like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to get yourself an ISO just for them to come and tell you these are the documentation that you need, you see. And then a few years later, they will come back and audit you for another 50,000, 10,000, 100,000 or something like that. Or then you have another internal audit, external audit. Oh my God, it's just like totally unnecessary. It may be good for some organization, I will say, but is your project, is your organization really needing that? See? If it's not, then, you can create your own quality management systems for your own project. See? So then a lot of this QMS, we have a concept behind it, and that is called TQM, Total Quality Management. And Total Quality Management is essentially really a QMS, but it's like a philosophy. It's like a way of thinking, a way of, a way of approach. And your QMS can be based on TQM. You know, TQM as in, all ISO systems are actually based on TQM. You know, so if you understand TQM, what is in TQM, then it is pretty much applicable. It's like a foundation. It's like a philosophy of a foundation. It's just that my philosophy is to not cheat, and my philosophy is to be a good person. That is my philosophy. So whatever action that I take is based on that philosophy. So TQM has a philosophy of culture. You must have quality culture. You must have it with the whole entire group of people who are actually in the project or in the organization to support your quality endeavors or your processes. So that, in a way, is lay the foundation for when you want to create your own QMS. And different industry, when you create your own QMS, is different. You know, it cannot be exactly the same. You know, manufacturing industry, the unknowns that you deal with, the constraint that you deal with, you know, the resources that you deal with, the level of technology, the education level of the people in the factory is very different from a project in construction. And in different construction projects, the level of expertise that you get from different people or the different group of people, the technology that you apply is very different from project to project. A housing project to a high-rise project, you know, to a bridge project, to a water-related project, to a sewage project. They are all very different. So you should learn to create your own QMS. That is the focus of what we are trying to work on in a way for quality management. Okay, and that is the framework. So what the detail that you're gonna have today in the pre-recorded is about 5 in intro, in what is definition, how do you define quality management, how to define quality, and then creating a QMS. And then the first one is QP. So I'll give you a pre-recorded on quality planning. But don't worry, we will still have another class next week. So I will continue to explain a little bit more next week, and then wrap it up properly next week. Okay. So I think that is what I was proposing to do for this week, to have about an hour class with you, just to give you the framework of what we're going through these 2 weeks. Okay. And whatever you learn from Dr. Shelley and all that is actually like in QC, for example, statistical process control. You know, Six Sigma is also a QMS, you see, so it all fits in that way. So this will form the framework. These 2 classes will form the framework, and whatever that you learn, all the techniques and all that will be applicable for this particular framework. So they are giving you the detail, I'm giving you the overall. Okay? Any questions? Because you want me to create absent. Okay, so I set attendance list for you lah. Is So Chang Long here? No? Okay, so no more attendance, huh? Okay, so any questions from any one of you?
Doctor, Nicholas,
Yes.
Nicholas, yeah.
Yes.
I can scan the QR code.
I already key in the attendance list for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, no problem. I am pasting. I've already put out some pre-recorded in the e-lib already. So I'll finish doing this after this, and then give it another hour or so before you go and open it, because it can be slower in that sense. Okay. Maybe it's not fully what we call what is that word? It's not fully processed yet on YouTube, you know. So that's what I normally do. I send it on YouTube. So you can click it on YouTube and then, you know, listen from YouTube lah. So yeah, it will take another about half an hour or so for it to fully sort of like process and all that. Okay. If there's no more questions, then we call it a day. And I'm sure some of you are very busy trying to go out for, Christmas, or trying to prepare your Christmas dinner, or going to church in a way later on. Yeah. So if you have any questions, you can stay back. If you have no more questions, we can leave already, and then I will finish posting the notes and also the pre-recorded. There'll be about 100 minutes of pre-recorded. Okay. So you just listen to it before the class, before the next class. But the framework today is definition of quality to QMS to QP, QA, QC, and the foundation for QA, QP, QC. We will explain a little bit more on TQM as well. Yeah. Total quality management is TQM. Right. Anything more from you all?
Not for now.
Okay. Right. So if no, then I will wish you guys a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, and we'll come back next week. That will be Happy New Year already at that time. But we will spend a longer time in class for next week, because we want to wrap it up better in a way. So next week, don't go for too many. Don't plan yourself too many countdown activities until at least 5 o'clock. Okay. Christmas is different. I understand a lot of people need to cook and they need to prepare family dinner and all that. So yeah. All right. Merry Christmas to everybody. People like Nicholas, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Are
you,
you?
Doctor.
Eunice, yeah. Karine, Brenda. Are you celebrating Christmas, Brenda?
Yes,
Lisa,
Doctor.
yeah. Where are you now? Are you at home
Yeah, I'm at home.
cooking?
No lah.
Preparing dinner? Right. So those of you who are not, then happy holiday. Go to visit your friends. Somebody can bring Zhao Xingping to their house to eat lemang, maybe. Okay. To experience our Merry Christmas here in Sarawak. Okay. All right. See you guys. Bye bye.
Thank you, Doctor. Merry Christmas,
Doctor.
everyone.
Yeah, thank
Merry
you.
Christmas, everybody. Take care. See you next
Thank you,
week.
Doctor. Merry Christmas.
Christmas, but don't not listen to the recording.